Goals and Growth fam, I must warn you, what you are about to witness most certainly will stun you. It most certainly will make you doubt this society even more. And I know you're already doubting. I know you are already sick of the degeneracy, sick of the entitlement. But unfortunately, today I'm here to make it even worse for you. Other than that, ladies and gents, welcome to Goals and Growth. My name is Estian, and my goal in life is to help you become the best version of yourself. Not only help me become the best version of myself, but to also spread that positivity, to also spread that motivation. So make sure that if you're ready for that you are subscribed to Goals and Growth. Make sure that your post notifications are turned on, and make sure that you go and give me a follow on Instagram. My account is linked down below. You are more than welcome to leave recommendations of content you'd like me to check out, the channel in general. If you just want to talk, that's also okay. Other than that, yeah, so this is called She Rated Herself an 8 and Still Got Humbled. I mean, this pretty much sums up the modern dating scene, the modern reality that we face, and the traditional among us just need to keep a cool head. We just need to stay true to our values, true to our morals and ethics. Other than that, let's sit back, relax, let's check this out. I never finish these videos. I'm probably going to end it maybe halfway. I'm just so that I get a general idea. When I get sick of the entitlement, I immediately say, you know what, this is enough for today. I can only take so much entitlement for one day. Other than that, let's check it out.
Ask everyone to rate their looks on a scale of 1 to 10. Their looks, physical looks, scale 1 to 10. We'll start with you. We'll go around the table. Go ahead.
8. So 8.5.
8, 8.5.
I'm a 10.
Hell no. You know what?
7.
Thank you. That's a bit realistic.
8.
Just.
5.
I'm a 10.
Oh.
7.
That's okay.
8.
6.5.
I'd say 7.58, 4.
What do we notice? What do you notice here, right? And these, listen, let's accept Andrew. Andrew is just Andrew, but these two gentlemen here, decent-looking guys, right? So he said I think a 6.5 and a 7.5. Meanwhile, at the other end of the table, right here, 8 and a 10 is ridiculous. I'm sorry, but I'm sorry to shatter your dreams, ladies, but no. Brian?
Andrew.
Yeah. Took guts.
I'm a 5. I give myself a 5. So
All right.
8, 8.5, 10, 7? 8? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Brian, you rated yourself lower than usual.
Yeah, drop. I've been
Wait, what
getting a
did you
little
rate
chubby.
yourself?
6.5.
See, now that's humble.
Yeah, that's humble.
humility.
Exactly.
That's
you.
humble. That's humility.
Yeah. That's
right?
you.
That's the thing that's usually harder for men to do.
Is be yeah, exactly. Man, listen. Man, listen. This is the world we live in. We live, unfortunately, and listen, ladies, I'm not saying that there are no decent ladies out there. I'm not saying that there are no humble and traditional ladies out there. There are plenty. But you are outnumbered by these type of women. I'm not saying don't be confident, but don't have a misconstrued idea of how people perceive you. Okay? Because it's one thing to be confident, but there's a difference between grandiosity and between confidence. All right? These ladies here, even though, you know what, each to their own. Right? Beautiful in their own way. We've all heard the cliche saying. But who is going to look at this lady, for example, and objectively say that you are a 10? Your attitude, entitlement already does not make you a 10. Gentlemen, in the comments, please, out of 10, this lady here, out of 10, what would you rate her? Just by judging her looks and judging the way that she rated herself. Let me know in the comment section, please.
Just say it. Just point it out.
I've noticed a pattern here. I think men tend to
Be more humble.
fairly accurately self-assess their own level of physical attractiveness, whereas
Women are
Have more
overinflated.
self-esteem issues than women do.
what's that?
I've heard men have more self-esteem issues than women do.
Uh,
Why would you say that?
Just And I also heard that they're also more emotional.
No.
Who have you heard these
Yeah,
things
because
from?
Yeah, I
people
would-
act off based off pride, and that is going to be like an emotion thing, not necessarily logic.
Do you think
That-
men or women have more cosmetic surgery?
Women.
I think probably women.
Yeah, probably women. Do you think that that's because they have way more self-esteem than men?
No, it's because they have less.
Don't
point.
think that necessarily what I'm talking about is the same thing. I just mean
Yeah,
like,
well, I think it is.
Symmetric.
well, for
Yeah.
instance, you just rated yourself a 4, right?
Yeah.
And maybe people may not agree with you, and I just rated myself a 10, and people may not agree with me, right?
Hell
But
no.
We're just talking
They-
about simple our self-esteem.
Not they
Our
may
self-esteem
not.
is
Not they
clearly-
may not. They do not agree with
You
you.
just rated yourself a 4, right?
Yeah.
And maybe people may not agree with you, and I just rated myself a 10, and people may not agree with me, right? But we're just talking about simple our self-esteem. My self-esteem is clearly higher than
No, I'm
yours.
not sure that we are.
Random pause. But have any of you looked at this lady right here and noticed someone very famous from your past? If you know, you know. Thumbs up in the comment section if you know what I'm talking
My
about.
self-esteem is clearly higher
No,
than yours.
I'm not sure that we are. I think that what we're talking about is a value judgment. And I think that I'm making a way better value judgment than the value judgment that you're making. So
Yes.
the value judgment that I'm making is this. I'm old, and I'm married, and I'm out of shape, and I smoke, right? And I'm not a very pleasant person to be around for long periods of time, especially for the opposite sex.
Yeah.
Like, I know all of these things about myself. So my value judgment overall is a 4. Tell me the value judgment of how you came to a 10.
Oh yeah, I just think that in general we should think that we are great.
Right, so you just decided it with, there's no
That is called delusion.
In general, we should think that we are great.
Right, so you just decided it with, there's no value judgment there, you just decided it.
Yeah, he asked me what I would rate myself, and
Yeah.
because it's my opinion
Looks.
about myself,
Just looks.
I
Yeah.
am. It took a long time for me to love myself, and I do now. And so yeah, I think that like, you know, I'm a Misty 10.
I have a
This is the same one saying that men were more emotional. Oh, it took a long time for me to love myself. I'm sorry, who's the emotional one now?
Like, you know, I'm a Misty 10.
I have a question for you. Wait, hold on, just one sec. Do you
And
think?
you're a 7.5?
I said 8
Oh.
Yeah, get it right.
How
Andrew.
did you
Get it
how
right.
did you come to that value judgment?
because I don't put within my value within a rigidity. A rigidity? That's not the right word.
Rigidity.
Thank you.
God.
I don't put that within that rigidity of certain, I guess,
Value judgments.
more subjective opinions about what value is, because I know my value, I know my worth, and I know my beauty that I hold within myself for myself, and that is appreciated by other people, because at the end of the
Bro.
day, beauty is subjective.
Yeah. Bro wants to burst out laughing, but he doesn't know
I
how.
hold within myself for myself, and that is appreciated by other people, because at the end of the day, beauty is subjective. And
It is.
It is absolutely within my right to hold myself to a higher value and how I conduct myself in the world around me.
Yeah, but
Okay. I do love her. I do like her interpretation slightly more than the lady on the left. I do like her interpretation and explanation. I mean, it's true that what she's saying, beauty and value is subjective in a sense up to a point. You can be. I mean, it's a hard thing to really talk about, because you could see yourself in a certain way and other people will see you in another way. But I always believed in this, right? If one person says you're stupid, you could take that with a grain of salt. But if 10 people start saying you're stupid, you got to start looking in the mirror, right?
Higher value and how I conduct myself in the world around me.
yeah, but when you're talking about the value judgment here, my wife, I'm sure that she has a way higher value judgment of me than I have of me. I would agree that she probably should. From her subjective assessment, she probably thinks I'm a great provider. She thinks I'm a great father. She thinks I take care of all of my responsibilities and duties.
Yes.
She can 100% trust me. So she probably has this really high value judgment of me. But when I'm doing an actual assessment of me, like Andrew Wilson, the person,
Yeah.
my looks and how it's reflected outwards to other people, right? I'm adding this value, this value, this value, this value, this value, like a mathematical formula to come up with that equals 4.
Yeah.
What are you doing to come up with that, other than I just think that we should have high self-esteem so that we Because I just think so.
Because I know I'm a good person. Because frankly, if we want to get aesthetic, I don't have a busted face. I'm fat. And if people want to reduce my value because of my fatness, that's not my problem. And that is not the ideology I hold for myself.
Okay.
I am someone who is pursuing weight loss, not for aesthetics, not for looks, but for my health. And it is something I'm moving forward with because I have been for the past 2 to 3 years now working on my self-love and loving myself into a place to care enough about myself to take
Actually
my
pursue it.
health back into control.
Kudos.
And I was being consistently shamed when I was gang stalked on r/fat people hate in 2015.
Wow.
When I have
Looks like it worked.
I'm still speaking.
I mean, it looks like it worked.
I'm still
right?
speaking.
It
and you
works
get-
because you're going to
you know,
change.
you're really great at over talking and being disrespectful, and I'd love the opportunity to get my point
But,
across.
okay, but so just to cut in here a little bit, the original question was rate your looks.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned your personality, you have a great personality or whatever it is.
And like I said,
His
my fatness
personality.
doesn't devalue me.
Why?
So I'm an 8.
Why doesn't it?
Because I think
No.
that fat
'Cause you
can
think.
be beautiful. It's my assessment of my
It's
looks, right?
perceptive.
Yeah, but why
okay.
is it that your
Why
own
ask
assessment
her
of
to
your
tell her
looks
that her
has
perception's wrong?
nothing to do with how the external world perceives you? That's my
Because
problem.
I don't give a
But how
shit.
can you
Right, because you don't
decide?
care, so there's no
I
real
don't care
value
about,
judgment.
I don't care
Oh.
about other people's
And how can
opinions.
a
Oh.
It's
woman
not
speak
more
for
important
the
than the
rest
opinion
of
of
the
I hold of
world?
myself.
Yeah,
and
it
if you
is.
don't- If you don't live that way, that sucks for you.
If there's a value judgment of how you would self-assess your own looks, the only possible conceivable metric I could even think of would be the perception of how other people view you for your value judgment
And
of
I
how
was in a
you look.
relationship for
How would
almost
you
8
know
years with
about
someone
that,
who
though?
thought my
How would you-
body
how could he-
was
how could
the
you ever
most
come up with a
beautiful
metric?
thing he had
That's what I'm saying.
ever
You decided
seen.
that was perceptive.
And
You
he
just
had told me
decided
that
those were the things that you
more
were gonna
often
hold
than
her.
not.
There's too much talking going on.
He had told me
God.
that more often
Wait,
than
can
not.
you speak straight into
Yeah,
him?
he had told me that more often than not. I have been pursued by many men who think I am gorgeous and beautiful. That perception
Okay.
exists whether you have it or not.
Okay, so assume for a second, I can assume inside of, I can envision a world where you're the only human being who's inside of the
And
world.
guess what? I'll
And
never
if
be
you're
the only one who thinks
and
I'm
if
hot,
you're-
and I know that bugs the shit out of you,
If you're
dude.
the only human being who's inside of a
of
world,
his own
I can
low
perceive,
self-esteem opinion.
I can perceive that I can come up with whatever metric I want for myself because I have nothing to compare it to. So if
Yeah.
I have nothing to compare it to and I have nobody else's value judgment, then I can say I'm the most beautiful person who's ever lived, and that would be true. But if I have
He asked
the
us our
value
opinions.
judgment of hundreds of millions of people
do you
to
mean?
compare the standard to, and I know that I'm below that threshold and just decide that I'm above that threshold anyway,
I'm not the only
that's not
person who
based
makes
on
that
anything
decision.
objective. You're just making shit up.
No,
He
I'm
literally
not,
asked us
babe.
our opinion. So yes, it was a made-up opinion
Yeah.
from us.
Yeah, it is. For sure.
Just
Yeah,
for sure.
that was
Way
the point.
overstated
That
what's
was the point.
true.
The only person who's not happy
Your
about that is you.
perception of your truth is not the same for myself or,
Thank you.
or
Amen.
anyone
Okay.
back.
Okay.
what is- I mean, what
okay.
is truth?
We've gotten the gist of what's going on here. The general thing to take away from this is most of these ladies, unfortunately, are delusional. They cannot see themselves as the rest of the world sees them. Whereas men are more humble in that respect. Most men will tell you that, you know what, it could be a decent looking guy. You could still say 6 or 7. That's fair. Be humble about it. Be honest with yourself and take the considerations of others into your judgment process. But when it comes to most of these women, they just have they have an overinflated idea of their value. And that's what's causing the problems that we have today. Make sure that you subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you next time.